Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. So, I got to watch the newest Into the Dark episode, which is called My Valentine. And it stars the chick from Glow, Britt Barron, Britt something, super fucking adorable chick. And it also has the guy who plays the Mad Hatter in Gotham. He was also in Walking Dead. I can't remember what his name is. And then Tiffany Smith actually is in this and plays a pretty substantial role. You might not know who Tiffany Smith is, but she is with Collider. And she also, she does a lot of Star Wars stuff. She's referred to as the Sith Lord when she comes onto Jedi Council. She's interviewed the cast of Episode 9, I want to say. So it's really cool to see her because I've only ever seen her in online, like, doing reviews like me or something. And it just blew my mind when I saw it. I was like, that's Tiffany Smith. It was very, very cool to me. Anyways, now this is about a young lady who wrote a bunch of songs, and her songs were stolen from her by her boyfriend. And he copied her image to he met some other woman, copied her image, and had her sing her songs, and this girl became super famous off of it. And now she is going out and playing her songs in little bars, claiming that the songs are actually hers and that they were stolen from her, so on and so forth. The story heavily reminds me of one of my favorite musicals, Hedwig and the Angry Inch. Very reminiscent of that storyline, obviously. In that story, Hedwig has his, or her, I guess, songs stolen from her by Tommy Gnosis, and she plays across the street from his venues, always claiming that she wrote the songs, and he did not. He's a big fraud, so whatever. But in this version, her boyfriend comes to confront her and tell her to stop spreading the lies, which of course are truths, and he tries to intimidate her, and he locks her in a bar and confronts her, and the night kind of goes on from there. This film really, really uses a lot of style. Now, this film is getting a ton of hate. Like, when I went on IMDb, this is, I think, the lowest rated episode, or one of the lowest rated episodes of the show. I honestly really enjoyed this, and I watched this with somebody else, and she also really enjoyed it as well. I'm not saying I loved it, but I don't get the hate. Now, there is a lot of style in this. The thing that it reminded me the most of would be something like a Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Now, of course, it's not all action-packed like that by any means, but just kind of the color palette, along with some of the on-screen effects, because there's points in the movie where some kind of effects come on the screen and give people like devil horns, like they're in some kind of like Instagram post or something. And it just kind of makes the movie a little edgier, a little more modern, I suppose, because the film does it centers around, social media. That's how they became famous, and that's how she's trying to claim that she was robbed of her music. I really enjoyed the performances in here. I really enjoyed the performance by the boyfriend in this. As I said, the guy who plays the Mad Hatter. I thought he was great in this, man. He's so, he's crazy, but he's also extremely sensitive. And not sensitive in like a, oh baby, are you okay kind of way. I mean, he does play that angle too because he's a manipulator, but this guy kind of just goes through the common tropes of every stereotypical mentally and physically abusive boyfriend. Like, he really just rifles through all that shit, and he just plays it so well. He's such a skis, he's such a piece of shit, and throughout I was just really digging his performance. And I thought the aesthetics of it, it's a really pretty movie to look at. The colors, and just kind of the way the characters play as well off of each other. I just dug it, man. I really had a good time with this one. Now, this is more of a thriller. I wouldn't call this horror almost by any means, but definitely a thriller. And yeah, I mean, I think it fits the theme really well because obviously the End of the Dark show is about the holiday of that month, which of course this is Valentine's Day. And yeah, I mean, it's absolutely some love triangle, a really twisted love triangle. And I was just fully in on it. And the girl who plays the other version of her that stole her songs, um, I really liked her performance. Another beautiful girl, and man, did they look a whole hell of a lot alike. Like, I actually had to Google it. I actually had to go on IMDb because I was like, is that just Britt playing the same character twice for like the first couple minutes? I was like, damn, they got a really, really similar looking actress. So I was really impressed with everyone's performances, with the aesthetics of it all, and the story actually had me pretty engaged. It does get silly, and I think that might be its downfall, is just kind of its tonality, because there were points where it was getting silly and I was like, am I supposed to be taking this seriously or am I not? And if you've watched my channel enough, you know that that's something I struggle with, is trying to figure out whether or not to be on board with something as, kind of a parody or something silly or whatever. And then and I'm fine with things changing tone, but this one kind of goes up and down, and I'm like, interesting. Like, where are we going? But at the end of the film, I really just can say that I did enjoy it throughout. There were parts where I was like, I don't know about this. This does feel a little silly. This feels a little over the top. This performance here just seems like they could have reined that in a little bit, whatever. But by the end of it, I kind of just pulled it all together and was like, I actually really enjoyed that. And when I went to IMDb, I was like, really? Fuck. I wasn't surprised, though. I wasn't surprised. This is going to be for everybody. There will be people who will be like, this is bullshit, this is terrible, whatever. That's, I say that all the time. That's true of anything, but I'm surprised it's getting as much hate as it is. I dug it. I hope you guys do too. Probably my favorite of this new season, and I look forward to the next episode. So anyways, adios.